Class 11, today we will continue with the economics growth and development chapter from the portion where I left. In the last video, have shared what is the difference between growth and development. Now, growth means only rise of income, but development means with rise of income, there are certain changes taking place, structural changes. Now, what do you mean by structural changes? It means changes in the pattern of occupation in which people are engaged. From agriculture, people will move to industrial sector slowly. There will be development of machines and the technical skills with which they will be mainly hired and mainly concentrating on the industrial activities apart from agriculture. So in a way, the contribution of agriculture in the national income will decrease and the contribution of industry service sector gradually increases. Second, you will see urbanization taking place. That means village or rural lifestyle will slowly change. People will have enough of money and they will be migrating for a job purpose or for better living to the urban areas. So these are the small differences that you get when a country is on its path of development. And growth means only rise of income. Development means rise of income should be there, because without rise of income, such structural changes become impossible. So today in this class, I will be concentrating on development. So growth and development differences by this time must be clear. And development, the word is encompassing growth as well as certain structural changes. So development, if we compare all the countries, we see three types of countries according to the level or degree of development that they have achieved. Number one is underdeveloped. From the name you can understand that its development levels are fairly low. We also call these countries LDCs or less developed countries, or UDCs, underdeveloped countries, or third world countries. And the other one is developed countries. So if you compare, their degrees of development are much more, and so they are grouped under developed countries. So how we can classify the countries whether they are underdeveloped or developed? Suppose if I give you any names of the countries, India, China, Japan, USA, from the name, how can you understand that in which category the country will belong? So for a better understanding, we need to know the features. So underdeveloped countries have some features, and if the particular country is following all these features, then it will be grouped under underdeveloped. Whereas if the countries exhibit the features of developed nation, they will be classified under developed countries. So this part I will fill afterwards. Before, we will concentrate on underdeveloped countries. Now when we call a country is underdeveloped, number one, it should be having very low income. That means the income, the per person income is very low. Why it is very low? Either the national income is very low, or even if the income, the rate of income is growing at a higher rate, the population growth is so much that each person is getting very less. So you need a better understanding of this point. There is a difference between low income and income growth. What I said first, that either the country's national income is fairly pretty low. It is so low that when you divide the income amongst the population, the per capita income turns out to be low. Or it can be the scenario that income is growing the income of the nation is growing. But on the other hand, the depressing part is the population is also growing at a same rate or even at an increasing rate than the income growth. So the income is growing, but the population is also multiplying. So what will happen? Per person, when you divide the income, the number of heads are increasing on. So suppose in a class you have got 50 chocolates. I have increased the chocolate to 200. So I have doubled the number of chocolates. But the class of student have increased to 200. Then what will happen? The amount of chocolate will not be able to satisfy all of them because you need to share among the number of heads. So similarly, even if income growth is taking place, if the population increases at a very higher rate, then that income is shared, for which each and every person enjoys a very less income. And that results in low standard of living. Generally, countries where you will find that people have a very low standard of living, that means they are not getting the luxuries or comfort or the basic necessities of life. They fail to entitle and get all those things which are needed for daily living because they are earning very less income. So countries where you can see that the most of the people are having low standard of living, they don't have a better standard or better conditions of life, you can classify those countries under underdeveloped countries. So low standard of living means, suppose the education or the literacy rate is low, the nutrition levels are low, the immunization rates are low, the vaccination at the of the newborn child is not adequate. So all these are possibly the reasons for which humans don't enjoy the standard of living up to that level, resulting in low standard of living. Then number 3 is underutilized natural resources. Now natural resources are nature's gift that a country is endowed with. Suppose natural resources means all sort of minerals, then energies that you get from the resources of your country, which helps you to generate many things. So these resources, if they are less, then the country cannot utilize those resources and engage it into productive purpose. But there can be countries which have enough potential, they have all those resources, but still they are failing to use those resources. Why it can happen? Either the humans are not that skilled, they don't have the technical knowledge to harness those resources and channelize into better usage, or they don't have capital or lack of money, lack of advanced machinery to do all those tasks of utilizing the natural resources. So a country might have all the potentials, they might have stored resources, but they fail to use those resources, utilize those resources in a productive way. So there are countries, we call it low or less developed countries, if they have enough potential but they are failing to use the potentiality and convert into productive purposes. For example, suppose there are many minerals which we find under land, but for that proper mining has to be done, and for proper mining you need humans, skilled humans, those who can operate heavy machineries, and you also need heavy machineries to do the mining activity. But if your country does not have money, does not have capital, then can they acquire that machine? They cannot. even if they have the machine and the humans are not skilled enough to use the machine, can they initiate with the activity? They cannot. So these are the problem. Even if the resources are there, the human skill might be low, the technical knowledge might be low, or due to lack of capital or money, the machineries are less. So resources are underutilized and they are not used for productive purposes. You all know that resources, they serve as important raw materials that helps the production process to start. And if production takes place, then only translates to nations' income at the end. But if resources are underutilized, then production will also be less, and then it will not gear up the national income and it will be remaining at lower levels. All the points are linked. If you see, all the points are linked. Now, why I said resources might be underutilized? Because of lack of capital. Now, capital means two things: money and machinery. Now, if there is dearth of money, there is less of money, there will be less of savings of the nation. So, national savings will be less. And when with the saving only, machineries are bought or produced, they are procured from other developed nations, advanced nations, or they are produced within the country. But if money is not there, then machinery cannot be even procured from other countries or produced within the country. And when these machineries, or when capital formation is less, when machinery purchases are less, then how can you utilize the natural resources? So obviously lack of capital also you will find in those underdeveloped countries. After that, predominance of agriculture. Now agriculture is the mainstay of people who belongs to this less developed countries. Now why everyone concentrates on agriculture? Because for agriculture, the skill set required is very minimal or few. And there is always, you will see that overpopulated agriculture occupation. That means people, there is disguised employment. That means people who want job, they all get into agricultural activities. It puts a pressure on the land, but the productivity of the land cannot be increased even if you double or triple the amount of people working on it. But why agriculture is the mainstay? Because there is less of machinery, because there is less of entrepreneurs, those who will be owning up and starting up with the industrial process, because there are less of skilled humans, they lack education and training, so they cannot drift or go towards industrialization. So for industrialization you need resources, but resources are underutilized. For industrialization you need enough of capital, money as well as machine. That is also lacking over here. So what is remaining? To focus on agriculture or farming activities. Then colonial type of trade. Now when I said that they mainly concentrate on agriculture, so obviously the agricultural production will be more over here. So they will export to other countries agricultural product, agro products, or some kinds of raw materials like cotton, jute. These are all products which serve as raw materials for making other products. So these LDCs, they generally export agro-based products, and these agro-based products sometimes serve as raw materials for production of industrialized goods. And by exporting this, they earn an amount of money for conducting the trade. But what do they import from the other lands or from the rest of the world? Their imports are generally industrial products. So since they cannot concentrate on industrialization, they try to import the industrial products according to the needs of the population from the other countries, for which the country makes certain payment. Now, technically, these agro-based products and the raw materials which they sell or export to the other countries and earn a money, this earning is very less. Whereas the imports are very much costly because industrial products are costlier. So this is known as terms of trade, TOT. Terms of trade means what is the terms according to which this international trade is conducted. So this less developed countries, they have agreed on the terms that we will export agro-based products and in return we will import industrial products. So they are earning less and basically making more payment. So when you earn less and make more payment, then your country faces a capital flight or monetary flight. So when this less developed countries earn a less, suppose by exporting they earn $10 and importing they have made of $15. So basically there will be a shortage or excess of $5 which they have spent on import. So they have earned $10 but they have made an expenditure to acquire the products from other countries of $15. So 10 is gone, their earning is gone, and extra 5 is also gone. Already you know that they have very low income, and after that you know that they are making more expenditure on costly importables. So they will face lesser and lesser money retaining within the country. Now this type of trade is known as colonial type of trade. Now next point, high population pressure. This also I discussed that in less developed countries you will see that the family planning is very less. The birth rate is too high, whereas the death rate is also less because of the advanced medicines that have entered into the country, that has been imported into the country. So what happens? A population pressure is created. The number of individuals during a particular time in the country is so much more that whatever low income the country is having is being shared with multiple number of heads, and that makes each person to get lesser and lesser amount, and they don't enjoy this standard of living, and these problems prevail in the country. And last is underdeveloped money market. So even underdeveloped money market means that the banking system is less developed. Now banking system will only be developed if people have the habit of saving with the bank. Now when we save in the bank, then only bank has enough money to give outsiders loan, those who are requiring loan, the investors. So suppose here people is engaged in agriculture. If they want any kind of new innovations in the field of agriculture, or they want to drift it to industrialization, with low income they cannot do. The country cannot drift. Such change of structure is not possible. Only when country experiences growth or high income, then only they can change the structure, and then only we will call development has taken place. So in less developed countries where the income is so low, they cannot change the structure by their own. So what do they need? They need external help of the banking system. If the money market or banking system is well developed, then people are in the regular habit of saving, then banks will have enough money to give out as loan, so that those who are in need of loan, those who want to change the structure or bring some kind of improvement, they can take it now and later on they can repay. But if the banking system is less developed, the savings generation will be less. It will be less. People have less habit of keeping with the bank because they earn pretty low income. It is shared by high number of people. So they have very less money even to go to the banks and save. Then banks also don't have enough cash to give out loan. Then those even who are interested to bring about innovation, Even if some entrepreneurs want to start up with production, from where will they get the required capital when the banks are having less of cash to give out as loans? So what happens? A trap. This is called a trap. They cannot come out of this trap and they remain underdeveloped.